Hello student, good morning to all of you. From today we start the new unit as unit 2 kinematics. So student, in kinematics we learn about the motion. Now we discuss about as an introduction of motion. Motion forms an integral part of our everyday life. Some examples of motion are motion of planet and stars in the galaxy, motion of river water, motion of air and wind as cyclone. And some other examples of motion are motion of vehicle, motion of uh, aeroplanes, motion of ships, etc. are the typical example of motion. Now student, we define motion as the change of position with respect to time. In fact, when we define the motion, we need to define it is as a reference point. Like the motion of object is defined as the change of position with respect to time observed by a fixed point. That fixed point is called a reference point. So students, in this chapter we learn about the motion and its relative attributes like displacement, velocity and acceleration. All these variables we discussed in this motion in a separate branch of physics which is known as mechanics. Okay, and mechanics is a branch of physics branch of physics which classified in three parts. That one is statics. Second is kinematics. And third one is dynamics. These are the three branch of mechanics or three parts of mechanics, in which in statics it is the branch of physics, in which we discussed terms related to object at rest. The terms related to object at rest are multiple force worked on an object in equilibrium and similar characteristic. Second is kinematic. kinematics. Students, in this branch we study about the state of object like rest, motion, etc. And last is dynamic. In this branch of physics, we discuss about the forced motion, forced or accelerated motion and its characteristic. Etc. So these are the branch of mechanics. Now in this chapter we study about the kinematic, and in kinematic, students, first we start the motion in one dimension. So first copy it. The first topic is motion in one dimensional or motion in one dimension, or called position. Okay, students. Okay, student. Now, in this topic, the first is position. Okay. Now, student, position of any object is expressed in two factors. It is position of any point is expressed by two factors. First is position of point with respect to observer, position of point with respect to observer, and second point is its direction, with respect to observer. Okay, so student, that is why position is expressed in the form of vector. Position is defines in the form of vector known as position vector. Position vector. Which is denoted by vector R. Okay, now students, let a point P x comma y have as its coordinate in a plane, its coordinates in a plane. Therefore, its position vector R is given by x I cap plus y j cap, and if point P x comma y comma z have as its coordinates in a space, then its position vector vector R is given by x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. So just copy these all concept about the position. Okay, student. Next we discuss about rest and motion. Okay. Now, first we define the rest. If an object does not changes does not change its position with passes the time with respect to point of reference, with respect to point of reference. It is called at rest. Okay. Next we have motion. Okay. Now, if an object change its position with passes the time with respect to point of reference it is called in motion. Next is point of reference. Okay, it is a system point of reference. It is a system of set of coordinates set of coordinates are attached to are attached to attached attached and with reference to an observer describe the position of an object. The position of an object. Okay. Now students, the next point is rest and motion are related terms. Are relative terms with respect to frame of reference. Of reference. Okay. Just copy these. Next we discuss about type of motion. Type of motion. Motion are categorized in three types. Motion is classified in three types. One is linear motion. It is classified in two types. One is rectilinear motion, and second is linear motion. Or straight line. Motion. Second is circular motion. It is also categorized in two types. One is circular motion, and second is rotatory motion. Next is oscillatory motion. It is also categorized in two types. One is oscillation, and second is vibration. These are how the categorize motion. First is rectilinear motion, student, when a point is moving in a straight line, and linear motion when a system of particle is moving in a straight line. Circular motion में पहला है student circular motion when the point is moving around a fixed point, and rotatory motion when a system is moving around the fixed point. For example, motion of fan. Next is oscillatory. Oscillation is when a point is moving around a mean position, to and fro motion. And next is vibration. Vibration is when a system of particle moving very fastly, like free molecule in the solid. These are at random motion and they are vibrating. Okay, these are the types of motion. First copy it, then we categorize the type of motion for this topic, motion in one dimension. We have three types of motion. First is one dimensional motion, student, if position of object is described by only one coordinate. Coordinate called only one direction. Then motion of object is called one dimension. One dimensionally. One dimensionally. For example, motion of car, motion of train, in a straight line. Okay. Second, we have two-dimensional motion. Okay. If position of an object described by one minute. Described by using two coordinates, or by two direction. Then its motion is called two dimensionally. Motion. For example, motion of car in circular path. Okay. and motion of billiard ball. These are the examples of motion in 2 dimension. And next is third part is 3-dimensional motion. Okay. If position of an object is described by using all three coordinates x, y and z, then motion of object called 3-dimensional motion. 3-dimensional motion. Okay, examples: motion of insect, and the next is motion of flying bird. These are the types of motion and on which basis they are categorized. One dimension, 2 dimension and 3 dimension. And for this all 3 coordinates, so it is called 3-dimensional motion. Okay student, thank you. We are close today till this topic.